Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be another unboxing video. I just have two parcels that came, so two, and it's some modern keys, maybe potential keys, I guess. Sometimes what I do is I'll order comics from local companies because I don't currently have an LCS. There's none in my neighborhood anymore because they've all closed. So this is the only way I can buy my current pull list, I guess, is to order it on eBay and order from local companies that have like the current comics. So I'm just going to open these up and show you what's inside. It's some comics that, not necessarily I'm specking on or anything like that, but just some ones that kind of I thought were interesting and that I thought would be, kind of cool to have, to collect. So this first one is from Dungeon Comics. If you're in Canada, they're sort of like one of the bigger companies that provide comics. They're quite good. The reason I buy locally for this kind of thing when it's like newer modern comics is just because of the fact that I don't like the shipping. Shipping from the US to Canada is brutal. So this is my way of getting sort of the modern ones a little bit more affordably. However, I did fail to mention one thing. In this order, like the two orders here, there's actually some pretty major keys, and I'm going to show you those as well, that are not modern. They're actually older. So I mixed it in with this order of modern ones. So the first one was this one. This is a modern comic. Just came out. Just like I think it's came out either last month. This is Scream: The Curse of Carnage. And the only reason I got this is I thought it was a really cool looking cover. I just thought it was just a brilliant looking cover. And it's a variant of this cover. It just looks really cool. I just thought Art Germ, kind of cool. He's a really great artist. I almost want to do a video on Art Germ just because he's a really hot artist right now. And I think he does brilliant work. There's Peach Momoko and all these other ones, but I don't really think they're that great. But Art Germ, he is a great artist. And I'd love to hear your comments below. Do you like what modern artists do you like? Well, he's one that I think is really brilliant. So I'm just curious what you'd say. So that's the first one. Now, here's some of the others that I ordered. There's Ginny Hex. And, this is like the great-great-granddaughter, like three greats, granddaughter of Jonah Hex. And this is her first series, solo series. So I thought it was kind of cool. As I said, these are kind of modern, maybe potential ones that could go up. But, I thought they were kind of cool. This is one that I didn't get when it originally came out. So I just picked it up. I'm sort of mixed on it. I don't think it's necessarily the best series. It's kind of mediocre, I would say. But it's kind of a hot comic. I paid probably too much for this. I paid like $25 or $30, I think. I paid 25. I negotiated on this one. So it's $25 and it's like a couple months old. So, it's, High Republic, Star Wars, the High Republic #1. First print. So yeah, I don't like this whole first, second, third, fourth print thing. I only like to buy first prints. The only time that I'll buy like a second or third print is if the cover is something really cool or if maybe there's a first appearance on the cover. And that's the only time that I'll kind of buy those later editions or later printings. But generally I prefer to get the first print. And then the next one is Strange Academy #7. I've been reading Strange Academy, so I kind of like the series. This is just a variant edition, and I actually paid cover price. So to get a variant at cover price is always good. It's just I thought this was one of the cooler. Kind of reminded me of Harry Potter a bit, the cover. So I kind of thought it was kind of cool. So I went with this one. I could have gotten any of the other covers for Strange Academy number 7. I just thought this one was the coolest. It's just a personal preference. Not that it might be worth more or anything special, I just like the cover better. And again, this is another Strange Academy. I didn't get the last couple issues, so this is issue number 8. And again, this is another variant, and I chose it because of the fact I really liked the cover. I just thought it was a really cool cover. I thought it was like, this whole Bourbon Street kind of style, like Mardi Gras style. I thought it was kind of a cool cover. I like covers when it features all the characters. It's a personal thing. I just think whenever a cover features like lots of characters, I think it looks kind of cool. So again, personal preference. I just thought it was a cool cover. Got it for cover price. Can't complain. So, and the last one is one that I thought sounded interesting. This is also the B cover. And I could have chosen the A cover, but I thought the B cover was a little bit nicer. And it's called The Last Witch from Boom Studios or Boombox. And I just thought this one kind of reminded me of Lord of the Rings a little bit, the style of the cover. I thought it was kind of a cool one. So, I don't know if it's going to be a good series. They have a tendency of producing pretty good books from Boom. So I'm curious. And I always like sort of like that Lord of the Rings kind of maybe magic, some medieval kind of style stories. So I figured, hey, I'd check it out, see if it's any good. If you've read it, tell me in the comments below. So yeah, I think it's, and in the same order, it just happened that the dealer just happened to have 2 older comics that I really wanted. So, and I'll show you those. The first one is Thor 125. Now, this is actually not Thor 125. It is Journey into Mystery 125. Now, this is sort of like the transition between when it was called Journey into Mystery, and then 126 is actually the first where it's just solely called Thor, the Mighty Thor. So I kind of like these kind of transitional books where it's like between the original name, which is the Journey into Mystery, and then it switches over to being the actual character's name. So this is, a mid-grade. It's actually reasonably good. I think it's like a 5 or 6. Yeah, it's a 6. 6 plus it says. It's a nice copy. It looks grainy at the bottom, but that's actually just the way the art is. It's not it's not like scraped or anything. It just looks that way. But it's a really, it's a reasonable copy. And I think it's not a major key or anything. For me, it's kind of a cool key to have. Okay, the next one, which is kind of a cool one, not expensive, it's not expensive, but it's just kind of cool. And I'll show you it. It's Amazing Fantasy number 1. This is the same. It's actually Amazing Adult Fantasy. They dropped the adult later on in the series, but this is the comic that in a way kind of launched it all for Marvel in a way. And the reason I say it kind of launched it all is this is the one that eventually came to Amazing Fantasy 15, and that had the first appearance of Spider-Man. And that really, really set the benchmark for cool characters. I think Spider-Man is kind of one of the coolest characters of the Silver Age, if not the coolest character of the Silver Age. And this is the book that started it all. So, if it wasn't for Amazing Fantasy, there would be no Spider-Man. So I just think, even though it's not particularly a rare or expensive comic, it's like I paid $90 for it, just to give you a sense. It's just kind of cool to have. I always like these kind of number 1s of whatever series it is. So, it's kind of an interesting one. So that's that first haul. So some cool stuff, some interesting things in there. The next one is just one package, and I'll open it up here. Oh, please. easy to open. Okay. Okay, so it's good when they use painter's tape. So this is the next package, and this is from a different seller, so I'm not sure what's in this actually. I think it's going to be some more moderns, but I'm not positive. So a little bit, you know, some Silver Age I've already shown, and some, you know, comics that I'm collecting right now. Not necessarily, like I like the Strange Academy. I think it's kind of a cool little series, and I think it has some potential. I actually really like Doctor Strange, so the fact that he has like a whole academy is kind of cool. And it's like almost there. They put a lot of this painter's tape. It's easy to get off, but at the same time, there's just a lot of it. So, okay, this one isn't necessarily. There's a bit of modern one. This is a mix of two different things. Oops, I dropped it on the floor. Okay, so the first one is not a modern comic, but it's semi-modern. It's Marvel Comics Group, Marvel Premiere, Doctor Who. So this is number 57, and this is not the first appearance of Doctor Who, but it's the first American appearance of Doctor Who. This is not an expensive book, but if you're a Doctor Who fan, and I kind of like the Doctor Who series. I don't like the current Doctor Who series, but I like the older ones when I was a guy. Sorry. Sorry to all those women out there, but I actually preferred the guy Doctor Who. When he had the long scarf, he was probably the best Doctor Who. Yeah, so this is the first American appearance of Doctor Who, and that was in Marvel Premiere number 57. So you can see that. So first American appearance. And, you know, so it's a minor key. That's a $10 book. It's not expensive. Not an expensive book. This one is getting pricey. I didn't pay too much for it. I think I paid 15 or 20 actually for this one. This is actually recent. This one came out in January, and it is the first appearance of X. What's his name? I said Red X, or you know, the character. You know, it's probably, you know, one of Nightwing's characters or Robin's characters. But it's his first appearance in continuity, I guess. Well, it's Future State, Teen Titans #1, but it's, you know, the first appearance of the Red X, or the. So yeah, so he actually made his first appearance in the comic series, Teen Titans 23, I believe. And you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that he made an earlier appearance in comics, but it wasn't considered in continuity. So you can take that whatever way you want. So this character is kind of an interesting character. He's a character that's probably an alias of Robin, but or Nightwing, because Robin becomes Nightwing. But it's one of those characters that is interesting. You know, there's a lot of speculation about who is Red X. You know, and, you know, it's like one of those things. So yeah, it's kind of a cool comic. This was his first appearance. I thought I had ordered this, and I missed out. I guess it wasn't on my list for some reason. I thought it was on my list, but it wasn't. And so I missed out. And so I ended up paying a little bit more than I really wanted to get it. But yeah, so this is the last of these orders. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out some of my other comic hauls. I have much bigger comic hauls, but this one actually had some pretty cool things in it. The Amazing Fantasy, Adult Fantasy, is kind of a cool comic, in my opinion. And there's some other cool ones that are modern that have potential. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye.